In this video we will be looking at our project number 1, the response bias project. We'll go over the details and you will learn how you can earn an A. First and foremost, be sure to read the handout. You were given the handout in class or you can access it from Moodle. Alright. Again, read the handout. Before beginning this video, read that handout. If you've already read it, pause the video right now and read it again. I'm serious. The handout starts with this. It's a Word document and it has this particular excerpt at the top. Okay, now that you've read the handout again, go over a couple of key terms. Experiment versus observational study. These will be two terms that we refer to frequently in stats. An observational study is an attempt to gain some information, but we don't actually assign choices. Alright, we observe, as is the name, data, people, subjects. We ask them questions, we survey, we look at data that's already been gathered, but we don't actually do something to them. As opposed to an experiment, there are treatments and hopefully they are randomly assigned to subjects. So this sentence here is the key. The fundamental difference between an experiment and an observational study is a treatment. In this project, it is an experiment because we are applying a treatment. The experimental question, that is our biased question, is the treatment. But within this experiment, we are conducting a survey, and a survey is a type of observational study. So project number 1 contains both elements of these important concepts, that is both an experiment and an observational study will be done within project number 1. Okay, so response bias is what we are investigating. What is response bias? Well, response bias is when some survey systematically favors a particular outcome, and we're going to look at one of 4 sources. Number 1, can the wording of a question create response bias? And we watched the Mr. Prime Minister clip in class. If you have not seen that clip, then simply go to this link and hopefully you will be amused by that video. The second kind of response bias we may investigate are, do the characteristics of the interviewer create response bias? I mentioned to you in class that one year I had 2 young ladies ask a question about cheerleading. The question was, are cheerleaders athletes? One girl asked the question in regular attire, and the other girl asked the same question wearing her cheerleader outfit, and of course she received many more positive responses. Does anonymity change responses to sensitive questions? You can obviously see that that would be the case. If you were asked a question that you might not want to answer truthfully, you're going to be much likely to answer it truthfully if you're not face to face with somebody. Number 4, does manipulating the answer choices change the response? You're going to choose exactly one type. You're not going to do 2 different things here. Here's some examples. Here are a pair of students that asked about cartoons. Question 1, do you watch cartoons? Very straightforward. You would consider this the control question. Question 2, do you still watch cartoons? This is the experimental question. That is the wording of the question. This little word still, perhaps with some combined tone, we had many fewer positive responses. Question 2 here, milk versus OJ. Which do you prefer, milk or orange juice? Very plain question. That's the control. Question 2, milk contains high levels of vitamin D and calcium. Do you prefer milk or orange juice? So in this case, they've given the positive benefits of milk, followed by that same question. You can see milk went from 14% to 64%. Here was a question about cheating. Both of the questions are identical. Do you cheat in class? Do you cheat in class? But one of them was Anonymous, 47% said they would, and not anonymous, 15% said they would. So face-to-face, only one person in about 7 said they would, but anonymously, almost half. Makeup. Do you find females who wear makeup attractive? Wearing makeup, 75% yes. Do you find females who wear makeup attractive? Without wearing makeup, 30% yes. So this question is dealing with characteristics of an interviewer. The previous question dealing with anonymity. Lastly, we see one about the answer choices. Time online. On average, how many hours do you spend each week online? And here we have several categories. As opposed to number 2, on average, how many hours do you spend online? We have the same categories here, but then we went with this or more. And you can see for question 2, the students anticipated that the subject would be embarrassed by the or more, so they answered differently. Just the adjustment of this back end changed the response. What you must do now is submit a proposal. The proposal will be 20% of your grade. This is detailed right there on the handout. Your proposal should be submitted by email. It should contain the following. In the subject line, enter your name and your partner if you have one, followed by response bias project proposal. Describe how you're going to obtain your subjects. I'm going to go to the lunchroom and do this, or I'm going to go to Walmart and do this. Explicitly state your 2 questions, your control and experimental question, and how they will be asked. Be sure to tell how you'll be randomizing. We need to use impersonal chance in there some way. To get more information on how to obtain your subjects and how to randomize for the high school students in BVD 4E, that's that green textbook that you recently got, read chapter 11 thoroughly. Lots of great information. Now, this is about studies, observational studies, and taking samples. But it's useful in our context because we're doing a survey within an experiment. For my college students, read the OpenStax book that you hopefully downloaded. If not, you can find it on Moodle. Read pages 18 through 20, not of the PDF, but of the book within the PDF. So be careful to notice that it's pages 18 through 20. It'll talk about sampling. You should see where to find it. Proposals 20%, the other 80% will be a poster board, all right, your standard piece of poster board with some things on it or a PowerPoint. 20% was the proposal, so the rest is 80%. This will be 80% of your grade. The handout details exactly what's on the poster or PowerPoint. If you hit all those things, you will perform well. Refer back to the principles of experimentation notes for both your proposal and your final product. You should contain all the elements that we studied there. All right. Lastly, if you have any additional questions, you can contact me, obviously during class time. My office hours, 1 to 4 each afternoon. You can find me in the Meadows building, that's the admin building, in the main hallway. Or you can email me at lrichmond@jacksonville-college.edu. Good luck on your project.